The kingdom that you seek, everything that you want is around you. Your job is to purely see it.
No linen curtains in
no
the
linen curtains. You are not going to get anything.
I'm like, oh, but then my shirt won't be able to hang out with its buddies.
Go to Target. Go to Target. Go upstairs.
I
go
love
to Target.
This. Like, no, Noah, use the force. Yeah. Go on the walk.
You say you want these things, but we need to know how serious you are about this.
Oh my gosh. The whole world feels magic.
I was like, okay, well, I'll just go I'll go book a ticket. And
your clothes has feelings.
What would be the best use of my time, resources, and all that stuff today?
Tech guy, ethereal tech person who's yet to manifest but will be here soon. Put this on the screen for us. Are you a big gamer?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I don't even own a TV.
Okay, good. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of GodMode, a player's guide to life. It's been a while since I posted an episode, but I am so excited to be back. This time, coming to you from a new channel. We actually have moved GodMode back to my original YouTube channel ever, Noah Talon 44. At times, my journey as a creator can feel like one heck of an uphill battle, but we're still here and we're posting another day. So this is all very exciting. In this episode of GodMode, I chat with my number one high five buddy, Elizabeth Mckellar. Liz has been a huge inspiration to me in my life and played a pivotal role in me beginning my own GodMode journey. She is a brilliant lighthouse, not just to me, but to many others as well. Her and I have been described before as having puppy dog golden retriever energy, which is definitely alive in this episode as we discuss topics such as time travel, expecting magic all around us, and following our intuition on incredible adventures that may even lead us to hidden treasures beneath waterfalls in distant jungles. For energizing little clips of today's podcast, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Noah Talon 44, and also follow noah.talon on Instagram. Without further ado, GodMode presents Liz Mckellar. Okie dokie.
There you go. That's a way easier.
And now we're going to go. Yeah, right? Wait. Oh, that was pretty good. One more. No, what? One more.
I was just going to say. There you go. Attaboy.
Now that's a clap. Okie dokie. So technically, well, we don't have to worry about that. I was going to say, technically, my clap lines up the recording now so that everything that we just recorded would line up technically. Yeah. I don't know how that works yet.
Smile and nod.
The thing that I have done the least is review the content that I've made. And so it's that piece that you were just talking about where you have to send it out to editing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want somebody else to do that, right?
Yeah.
Same. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, well, it looks like it's going to be me for now.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi.
Only if you think it is.
Yes.
What if
sure
there is a possibility, Noah, that the universe is just desperately sending a little fairy down in a way that you can't even imagine. Like just a cutest little audio video podcaster fairy who's ooh, I need one more project. And I want someone who gives me like a spice in life. And then all of a sudden you come in with your little head bobble and your smile.
Everybody's got one. It's like my D-Rock. Like Gary V's got D-Rock all the time. Got a damn camera.
So there you go. So what if?
I know. Oh, I'm living in that what if. I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
Trust that the what if is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I was just telling Sarai right before you got here, I can't believe we're even sitting on this damn couch. I mean, obviously I can because it's my belief in the fact that we'd end up sitting on this couch that got us sitting on the couch. But one little Lego at a time and so much surrender.
Yeah.
And what is funny is we're not even at zero. We've got really nice microphones.
You bet.
I now have an office, so we're not in my bedroom. And I don't know. It's just it feels like zero in my head. I have like the critic in my head that's like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
But the surrender part is like, jump in.
And to be honest, the thing that I always remember is like our little brains can only come up with like 7 of the options, and there's like 18 million of them, and most of them are really fun. But we sit there and go and looking for the 6 kind of mediocre, usually pretty shitty, with one
Options.
Good one. But then there's like all these other ones, like all of these other ones. Like you have no idea. That's the thing that keeps coming through. You have no idea how much opportunity for you to be supported. And it just requires going out of your like comfort zone or like opening up to all those other millions of opportunities.
I have a hack for that, and I got it from Kabbalah, which is when I ask for things or like meditate on my desires, I always tell the universe this or better.
Yeah, absolutely.
This or better.
Yeah.
That way I'm aware that I only see my X amount of options. And I'm also aware that there's an infinite number behind that X amount of options.
Yeah.
So give me the best thing.
Yeah.
For me.
And the treasure hunt is going to find it. Choose your own adventure.
Yes. All right. So we're here. This is GodMode, a player's guide to life.
Yes.
Where we chat and discuss our way of approaching the game of life.
Yeah.
Right. Are you a big gamer?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I don't even own a TV.
Okay, good. Okay, that's cool.
So I'm like the complete opposite.
No, you're like, yeah, you're a gamer.
But there's a game in my head. There's a lot of like big visual outside imagination level games.
Yes.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Very good. I've been playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons lately.
I've heard.
And that is like what you're describing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, you've never picked up a controller or sat in front of a TV? No problem. Can you pretend?
Yeah.
Yes. Imagination? Yes. We're off to the races.
There you go.
Well, God mode in video games is typically like when you type in a cheat code and then you have like every resource is at your disposal or you have infinite health. You see what we're getting at? Yes.
Ooh.
So that's why it's called God mode.
Yeah.
Because it's like bringing God mode to your waking life.
Oh, I love that.
Yay! She loves it.
I'm into it. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel it.
So yeah, I mean, I've got like a bunch of things that I could talk about. First of all, we're in this office. This has been a huge deal for me. I would love to just chat about like the design of the office and things like that. Because you're like, first of all, this is the first podcast I've done in this space.
Whoop whoop. Yes.
I love how you're always my high five buddy. Like no one high fives me as much as you do.
Yeah.
Every time I put my hand up, you're ready. Look at that.
One more time. That was like a half-ass. There
and then you have to like up level it. It's perfect. So there's the design of the office. There's the financial like holy shit stretch for me, which is the office. And literally before you got here, I was doing my finances on Prospera, which is the app. And it just so happens to be the most expansive session I've ever had. Literally in the last like 3 years of doing my finances on my own app, this is the biggest, most stimulating one.
Oh.
Yes. I was like struggling earlier. I had like a sort of baseline anxiety and a need to rush. I kept feeling like, you got to get through this. Like the time is not enough.
Yeah.
Long story short, meditated, connected to what if everything is already perfect?
You bet.
And that reminded me like, oh, okay, let's, instead of thinking we know everything and that we know that we're screwed.
Yeah.
Instead, what if we're obviously not screwed?
Yeah.
And this whole experience is here like a game.
You bet.
So that I can learn little pockets that my clients might end up in and little like, oh my God, there's a monster scaring me right now.
What if they're big? What if they're big and they're easy?
Whoa, I love it. Yes, big, easy.
Part of me is
big,
like,
terrifying.
Part of me is like little pockets.
Big pockets.
Like, what if there's like whole other room? You know, it's like what comes to mind is like the idea of like, oh, you know, like the little dust bunnies in the corner. Like I'm going to learn about those so that I'm better prepared. And then the image that came to me is like, or there's like all these secret hidden rooms and like whole other like amazing, I don't know, underground, whatever. Like that's there too. So like, do you want to hang out in the dust bunnies or would you like the cheat code to get into the subterranean layer of like delicious dinner parties and God knows what else. So like that's available too. So that's the big easy things that don't require you to like, you can, sorry, the universe is just speaking through me. Whereas like you can right now. You can meddle in the small things and like same thing for me too. I had like this whole conversation around like trusting the process and like trusting that I'm supported and everything's going to work out better. Like I had the exact same conversation today. And just being like stuck in the weeds versus like the big picture. And yeah. And like,
okay, cool. So I think that what that means is that we should obviously just drop into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
100%.
So as an overview, you know, I gave you a few chapter titles, The Office, this, that, finances, my app. What are sort of your chapter titles for what you were going through today?
Yeah, today's a great one.
And it's okay to be muggle, right? Like we need to be able to like connect to the muggles and to the wizards alike.
No, absolutely. Today was really around definitely random anxiety around like I'm in this very foggy kind of nebulous space in between things where certain bits, so I don't really necessarily think about it in terms of titles, but it's trusting that I'm supported. So I'm cleaning out or like redecorating a studio that I have downtown in LA and I'm selling a bunch of stuff. I'm flying back home to Vancouver on Thursday. So I've got like a pretty tight timeline. It just feels like there's more than I can handle, but trusting that like the pieces that are meant to go to a good home. So again, flipping it into something that's really positive where it was like, well, I want my big, beautiful plants to go to like really good. I want whatever I'm selling to like go to a really good person.
Right.
And what are the things that I need to be present to so that that happens? And then this morning was a really good, like heads up, self-care-ish was I went on a really good long walk around the Silver Lake Reservoir where I got to sort of connect to the anxiety and also connect to like what's being asked of me right now. And like, what is that anxiety trying to tell me? And so, yeah, no.
So when you went around when you went on this walk, this was, you had already been feeling your feelings at this point? Like you already had this?
I was just crunchy. I didn't sleep really well. Like I couldn't fall asleep last night. It was almost like a very out of body experience. Like I fell asleep and then I woke up and I was like, nothing about this like sofa bed works. Like it was a wild, it was a really funny, weird experience that normally that is not something that enters my world, but it was God. Like,
I reject this reality.
No, I absolutely
I need to sleep. Back to the sofa bed.
Finally fell asleep. So it was just I think waking up from that and knowing that's like, I didn't work out, so I need to move my body. And I was like, how do I want to move my body? And I realized, I could go for a walk, and a walk is a great thing. And a walk tends to like move the energy, allows whatever's like, I think think of the anxiety or the worries or whatever as like that surface level foam, but you got to get to the, like, I have to find a way. And I have a bunch of different ways to let the like coffee or whatever's underneath the foam come up.
The juice.
Yeah, exactly. So went on a really long walk and just like was present to myself because
cleared the foam.
You bet. So, and then got some good food, got a breakfast burrito and like headed to the studio.
Nice.
And was like, okay, it's time to bend some time and like get some shit done.
See, but that's okay. So what's interesting is for you, like in your belief system, you're like, I need to work out. Yeah. It's like, I want this. I know you. You're like a Looney Tune for that. Like you're like, give me the hardest training you got.
No, but you know what? I've totally swapped over COVID. I am like a super chill. I do like now. Pilates for like 20 minutes and that's all I do.
Pilates is like medieval torture though.
I mean, it is incredibly hard, but
you just went for graceful agony.
But it gets easier. Like some of the stuff is really easy now. And I think it's more just my body, like I'd say the last 2 years, I've gotten super in tune with like how my body feels. So when she is taken care of, when she is like, and Pilates is often like my brain is offline. So all of these messages and information can come up. And so it extends to like cooking food. Like if I put in headphones and just cook
You're doing great.
a meal,
there you go.
Then like I can feel or like make juice or I don't even know what it is, but it's like there's palpable things that like the little cells in my body are like, yes. So my body loves to be taken care of, and she's very demanding in that. So it's more just like, if I don't listen to her, I will suffer some repercussions. So I'd rather just like
quick cause and effect.
Take care of her. And then she then provides for me in really wonderful ways beyond the, obvious.
Yeah. So like you talked about how right after the walk, that's when you were like, let's warp some time. But what's interesting is from my point of view, with my belief system, getting myself on the walk is the time warp. Because for me, my brain goes, when I'm in the illusion of you don't have time, the first thing that goes is the walk. Like the least important thing is the meditation, the walk, the this and that. In Kabbalah, we talk about the opponent force of the universe. And it's like, that's one of the clever tricks. It's like, oh, what's the thing that would totally work right now? A walk.
Yeah.
So the opponent makes it like a bar of soap. Like it slips out of my hands. I don't want to do it. And then if I can overcome that and remember like, no, Noah, use the force, go on the walk, then I'm connected back. And now I'm back in the magic. But it's like, I almost have to like time warp into a walk to then be able to be like, oh, I have so much time.
Well, and I think for me, I have this like really interesting ability to kind of pitch forward in time and be like, how am I going to feel if I don't do this? So I do that with food. Like when I'm looking at meals, it's part of my human design, but I can look at a menu and I can like try on things and be like, so if I had taken the moment, I think I intuitively knew like in the corner of my mind, like if I don't move my body, the mental and psychological agony that I will then be in on this like underlying anxiety and frustration is not worth it to ignore this. And the kicker is the like, I don't have time is vulnerability. And it's usually we're not being like, it's a vulnerability thing, like an unwillingness to be vulnerable, which is just about myself. So again, my body's actually telling me I need this quality time. Right. If you do not give, the second my brain is like, oh, I don't have time, it means something within me is usually trying to communicate with me. And I have not made the time for that to come through.
Actually, and in a subtle way, we're like running away from it.
Yeah,
which is why we don't have time. We don't have time.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I don't got time for the feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And my like inner self just gets louder and louder and louder until it's so painful that it's like, okay, fine. Like what's going on? So she had some stuff to say, but it still feels like a little lidded. Like it's not, the full amount hasn't been expressed. But I think that as different things get sorted out in this like selling and all the busyness, then it'll be able to come through.
Nice.
So yeah.
Do you still like, I know that you do like a lot of like, or we did together, Akashic record stuff, spirit guide stuff. For me, that has kind of molded, like sort of transformed, evolved, thank you. Alchemized into the creator. I've like abstracted all of it to just like the light. And like, it could take different shapes and like different spirit guide forms. But most of the time when I want to like plug in, I'm like, okay, light, creator, universe. What's the next thing? And like for me today, the big like kind of like leap of the day was not only taking a moment to like not rush and like connect back to the light.
Because what if time, again, the not rushing, like what if time is actually 3 times what we think it is? Like that's where it's like, I don't have time. Like I think I was telling you the other day where it's like, I've started to be like, if it's just like putty, like stretch it out. Yeah. Because then you can add, there's like more than enough. There's 3 times the time. Anyways, keep going.
No, I'm going to get to that. So I've been trying to get to this practice. Basically, one of my best friends, Hunter, he wakes up in the morning and takes a shower, and he will not leave the shower until he is has fully connected to the mindset that everything is God, basically, that everything is light. And once he's there, then he exits the shower and begins his day. And so I've been meaning to like start that practice. Yeah. And today I've like skipped I have a to-do list and I'm like, send it to tomorrow, snooze it to tomorrow. And then today I was like, no, I did it. And it was awesome. Yeah. But in terms of like, cause I use like Jungian parts to that's when I like interact with and discuss with like the little children Noahs that are like usually like the ones freaking out. Yeah. And then that's good for like permanent, I don't know, that works. And today, instead of like looking at that, because I didn't intuit that there was like a part of me that was upset. It was more like, no, there's like it's like, this is our next level. And so we're just like pushing against like the fabric of our limits, like in their entirety, you know? And so I just need like God level support and reinforcement to get through that.
Yeah.
And there's two ways to it. And I think this also speaks to the time dilation, which is if I pause and breathe and connect to like intuition or the force or God or whatever, then enter God mode, right? Then the path also reveals itself. So now instead of like forcing your way through obstacles that will require more time, you might be like, oh, I can just step to the right of that obstacle, and that saved me 30 minutes, right? And so that's one piece of it. And then the other piece of it is, if there is an obstacle that now I get to go through, rather than like feeling that it's a swamp and I'm hating my life moving through the obstacle, I mean, it was cool the way it shifted, but I was like, oh shit. Like I knew it psychologically. I knew it from a like map of the territory level, but then I finally felt like, no, that's gold. Nope, if that's an obstacle, this is gold. Like, this is why I'm here. Like, it's not like this is a waste of my time slowing me down.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is what I came for. So yeah, that's my version of it. And then, time sort of dilates because the project, everything changes. The whole project feels different.
Yeah.
But like specifically, I'm not used to doing the like, I'm going to check in with Obi-Wan and see what my next move is. I usually just like plot the course.
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely trying to get into more of a like moment to moment conversation with Obi-Wan, which is another also like you doing your time traveler thing of like, let me look into the future of how this food is going to work
like,
for me.
Yeah. How does it feel? Does it feel good? And there's been totally points where it's like, oh, I really just want to eat candy or something like that. And my body just is like, you're going to get heartburn. So like, don't do that shit.
How did you like the cocosete? Or I don't know what it's a Venezuelan thing. Did you have your wafer? The snack?
I had one of them. They're delicious. It's perfect.
Okay,
it's exactly
great.
what I needed.
Great.
But yeah, no, I think that's really interesting. And I've actually started to do that a lot more with like my to-do list. Like I don't actually, the idea and like in human design, I'm like a very unspecific, I'm unstructured. There's a piece of that. Again, I can like time warp. I can like the ability to connect dots and move fast when I'm connected is like profound. So like any kind of structure ends up impeding me entirely, and like my whole body, my whole everything just like shrinks and shrivels up into a raisin. So it really is like tapping into, and I started playing with it, and it was a lot of fun because again, it's like playing with it. Like that's how I see it. It was like play with it and see what happens. But it's like asking my intuition, asking my body, like, what should I work on today? And some days it's like finish that email. The next day is like work on your finances. This is like, what should I do? And even today, like if I asked it, like, what should I focus on? They're like, finish this out so you feel like you've got a good grounding. There's some stuff later to, and just ask the question. Like I just asked the question, like, what would be the best use of my time, resources, and all that stuff today? And like, so I don't even have to like, there's a piece of it that's like, I don't even have to worry about missing things because like it will be delivered to me, and that all it's being asked of me is to slow down, be present, and not let the like ping pong ball, like 18 million ping pong balls of like, but like you got too many things.
Totally.
You just have to slow it down, because I was just telling the group of women that we coach right now, where it's like, if you just imagined how much energy we expend in like anxiety and then like regurgitating the past and like grumbling over, like if we just took those two buckets of energy out of our plates, which means we just have to be present, right? Could you imagine, like, I see that creative capacity. I see that huge chunk of it, like how much energy we dedicate to future thinking and past obsession, rumification.
Yeah.
But like take that out and like see, I have a very specific visual of like, that's a ton of energy. And if you dumped it back into like right here, right now, and like what you would be able to create, then it's like, oh, there's so much more space. And like, it really does feel like a rocket ship or spaceship where I was like, I mean, we're just going to another dimension.
Damn, I've got so much to say about this. First of all, holy shit. Like, I love that like you've got like this very, you whipped it up visualization of like 2 buckets of energy, right? But it's like in Kabbalah, if you look at the tree of life, they talk about how like on the bottom side, you have these things called klipot.
Yeah.
And the idea is that like, you know, if you reach for instant gratification, the language is like a little, you know, obviously like you have to study all this Kabbalah shit to like, but essentially they are buckets underground. And when you let your energy go towards regurgitating the past or doing any of these things, literally, this is what they talk about. Like in 5,000-year-old wisdom, they're like, your light goes through you. The energy that you receive for the day goes through you into that bucket. And until you are like, stop it, stop doing that. I'm going to be not doing that. I'm going to be present. I'm going to focus on now. I'm going to like, I need the energy back so I can create something. Yeah. Then it's called breaking it. Like you break the shell that is like underground and then it comes back up to you.
Yeah.
So that's like exactly what you're talking about. And
that's super interesting. It's also like what comes up is like the joy of the present. Like it's like our immediate moment. Even me today, like going to Target and running errands or whatever. It's like it could be really fun. It could be so enjoyable. It could be the most incredible thing. It's only my choice of like, if I want to be like, well, I don't know how the future, like essentially, I don't know how the future's going to go. And I should remember. And it was like, or it could be the most amazing opportunity ever.
Right.
And it's just a choice. And like, what's going to feel better and what's going to be more fun. And so that's the piece that a lot of the time it's like, what would be more fun? Like, how could we make this enjoyable and like not feel like slogging through mud, which is, you know, I think culturally ingrained.
Yeah. I mean, again, terms that I've gotten from Kabbalah are just cause and effect. Whereas if you walk through and you're feeling any kind of way about this place because of the place, because it's Target, because I'm doing this, I feel X, Y, or Z thing. Now you're the effect of that experience rather than walking through. And when you're saying like, how can I have fun? You're like, I want to be a cause. I'm going to be a cause. I'm going to be a cause. Yeah. And you're being a creator in that moment.
It's like choose your own adventure, like all the time.
GodMode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm into GodMode.
And then the funny thing is, so you were just at Target like the other day.
I've been at Target a lot, but like we're now we just have returns, but yes.
And the other day it was the most freaking magical, like you had like spirits like go down this aisle, turn left now, go 10 feet forward. And, the linen
curtain that you've been looking for 6 months are going to be there and we will take care of you. And it was like, seriously? And it was like, yes, you stubborn mule. Sometimes we're so proud of you. They're like, and you know, it's funny. It's like, now I have to go back there to get other things. And I'm in the curtain aisle and now there's fucking those linen curtains like everywhere. They're like, how many of these would you like?
You literally just had to pass the test. And then it's like, okay, now your universe gets to have abundant linen curtains.
Oh my gosh, they're so back ordered everywhere. So yeah.
Oh my God, that is so funny. But there you go. So like, who the fuck knew that you could have a total Harry Potter like experience going through like brick walls of obstacles into a reality where it's like, oh, there's the one package that I've looked for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
And you were getting the ping, like the intuition to do that. How much earlier? Like a while earlier?
No. So I went to Best Buy on like Sunset somewhere, the one in like West Hollywood, to get a webcam that doesn't actually work. So I think I have to. So that's the funny part. If you look at it, it was like, oh no, they just sent you to go get the webcam so you could try to it. But like, it wasn't really the purpose. And then I just kept getting a like, you should go to Target upstairs. And I was like, ugh, but it's like up all these stairs. And like, and every time it was like, just go to Target, go look in the decor section. And so as it had been explaining to Noah, where it was like, I was dragging my feet on putting an online order. I needed these things, but I just couldn't decide. And it just kept being like, go to Target, go upstairs, go to Target.
This.
And then I ended up with like 2 shopping carts full of almost everything I needed. And it was like, just go to Target. Just listen to the pings. Like that's the piece where like, I find it so fun because sometimes it's totally banal. Sometimes it's insane. Sometimes it's the same. We were talking about like, for some reason, I keep being like, you need to go to a jungle. I keep hearing you have to go to a jungle. You need to jump off a cliff into clear blue water. Like there is some kind of portal. There's some kind of lesson. There is something you are supposed to see and hear and understand. And you just, in the face of everything that makes absolutely no sense, you have to do this.
I love it.
And it's like, and I know enough to know if I ignore that, they're going to make it.
They're going to find
so
a way to
hard
get you. Yeah.
that it's like that.
No linen curtains in
no
the
linen curtains. You are not going to
universe.
get anything. Like you say you want these things, but we need to know how serious you are about this.
Gosh.
And it was like, actually, no, and I was talking to a friend actually right after that, and I was like telling her about this, and she's like, you should totally do it. I was like, she's like, use points. I'm like, I've only got 45,000. No joke. A round trip ticket from Vancouver to Hawaii is 45,000 points. And I was like, I know, but then I don't have any points left.
Oh,
and so,
my God.
Yeah, anyways, it's like flying in the face of things that my brain and ego want to say, that is not how that works. But it's like also the curiosity of being like, I wonder what's
Muggle mind.
I wonder what's in the forest or the jungle, and like I wonder
jungle cold plunge.
No, it'll be in like a tropical paradise. Well, yes, like cold plunge, like
well, because like a waterfall, right?
Yeah.
I guess you're right though. It might not be that
It'll be
cold.
Like magnificent on a little scooter.
Yeah,
and
you got
like,
me
just
all.
like,
Yeah, it's great. So, have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's just like one of those weird things where like you do this, like something in you is like you're trying to get to this cluster of realities, and the like immediate thing that is between you and that cluster, even though it makes no sense to you, is to go to jungle and jump into a body of water in the jungle.
Yeah. Well, like, and it's funny because it's like a twofer. It's like you need to go surround. It was something very clearly like you need to go stay in a place that you're surrounded by jungles. It's not go to a hotel, not go to a big city. You need to go find a place in a jungle. We don't care if you camp. Like whoever is giving me these orders does not care about that. And then there's a piece of like, go. I think it's probably something to do with like locals or something. I'm supposed to meet someone and I'm supposed to say like, I need to do this thing. Where should I go? And they're going to take me at like sunset or something. And there's totally like probably a portal or something, or it's, I think, this is the good one. It's like develops a level of self-trust, like my body, my soul, my intuition, the universe, whatever you want to call it, then knows that when they give me directions, I give myself directions, that I listen and I take action. And they're like,
great feedback.
Right. And it's just a matter of, I just keep getting this where it's like, we know you say you want these things, but what are you willing to do, especially outside of your comfort zone, in order to step into the person that you are? You don't step in and then get it. It's like, it's a simultaneous like meeting of the minds. And it becomes like, again, it could be super scary. I hear it all day long where everyone's like, I know I've seen the visions, but I'm scared. And I was like, well, it's just going to get a lot more painful if you don't do it. So like, or it could be, or it could be super fun. And like the greatest, craziest, most ridiculous story ever where you're like, yeah, why not? I found like a $40 cabin in the woods and rented a scooter and went for 4 days because that sounds like a blast.
You can proactively move towards the next level, or you can be compressed by a level that you're
dragged,
in until you're
kicking and
like
screaming behind a car down a country road.
Oh my God. You get like, well, I was going to say something ridiculous, but essentially like, you will end up at the jungle somehow.
Yeah. And it's got, I mean, there's a part of me that's absolutely attached to having those, like the points. Comfort zone and backup plan of having those points. Like, and it's like, if you knew, and I play the game all the time, where it's like, if I knew that I would be like $6 million, like on the heels of that, would you even care?
Totally.
Like not at all.
Yeah.
Not in the least.
Oh, I haven't used that tool enough. I use a different tool, which is like, if I got hit by a bus right now, how would I be feeling? Right.
Yeah.
Like, and that would be like, if you spent your 45,000 points and then went to like get dinner and got hit by a bus, like, would you be proud and glad?
Oh yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. So that'd be a great story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's the tool I use all the time. But now you're reminding me like, oh yeah, I did know about that tool. Repeat it back to me one more time.
Essentially, it feels like your blankie or your stuffed teddy, like the comforts, like the creature comforts that you just don't want to let go of. I look at it as like back doors, like it's the get out of jail free card. And I seem to be tasked right now is to like let go of every single one of those, so that it's like stripped free, like nothing, what appears to be nothing, like keeping me safe. And then like continually testing my nervous system and realizing I didn't die. In fact, everything gets better.
Oh my
and
gosh.
then there is this like massive, there's something out there that's like, it is big, but like they're testing me, where it was like, will you keep taking? But essentially the question is like the fear is, I like having the points because it gives me flights in case I might need them. And like, it feels like a comfort zone. But if I knew that I had $6 million like in the bank, the second I do this, would I care at all about the 45,000? No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not in the least. And it would be like, and the same thing where like, would you care about the $40 that you're spending on accommodation? No, you wouldn't. Would you care? Like, would you care about any of that stuff? Like, if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that every single one of your needs, wants, desires were like ready and waiting, would you do this? And it was like, usually it's like, oh yeah, sure, fine. It was like, that's how you live.
Yeah. I mean, right. I now realize that my version of that, the way I took that in years ago was if the 6 million was in the water of the jungle, like it's like, oh, you have to go out there, you have to go to the jungle, you have to jump in the water.
More fun.
If the 6 million is in that water, what are you doing sitting here talking to me right now? It's like that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then I'm like, holy shit. And then that I haven't used that. It's a good
one.
It's really good.
It's a good one. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Damn, it's good.
But what's great is I have a wonderful mentor named Heather, and I think I mentioned that to you, where it's like uses this line of like, the kingdom that you seek, everything that you want is around you. Your job is to purely see it.
I love
Can
that.
you see it in the face of everything that tells you, every single like, I don't know, lens, whatever says it's not here. I don't have this. But like the job is to be like, actually it's here. It is in the jungle. It's in this moment. Everything is here.
Right.
And go find it.
Yep.
Go find the gold in absolutely everything.
Yeah. I love it. That's a great tool. Can't wait to use that. Glad it's back. Now it's on the podcast. That was fantastic. As far as like everything being here, I did this Manifestation Babe course. She was talking about how like she's trying to like manifest 10K and she like couldn't get the 10K for like 4 months. She wanted to do 10K a month, right? Yeah. And either through her own practice. It was the
Epically Aligned, right?
Yes. Yeah. Did you do it too?
No, I did. I did the really big one, which is like which is phenomenal, and like I'm wowed. Like, and my friend and I are about to start the second round of the same thing, because it's that you just like it's awesome. It's a total just way of life, but it is a beast.
It's a beast.
It's a good beast, but it's a beast.
Well, so with this one, what was the deal? Oh, right. So she's like here lamenting month after month that she's not getting 10K, and then something strikes her as like, wait. And somebody, I think it was like her like boyfriend or whatever was like, have you noticed that like we got that hotel for free, or like this company paid for that meal, or this, that, and the other thing? And she realized that when she added up all of the like gifts that she was just getting that were like not cash money, it was like she had been making more than 10K for a while per month.
There you go.
So I've actually been doing that also. I have a little app on my phone, and like every time I spend money, I put it in the app, and every time I receive something like a drive somewhere, or like last night I got like, there was like a little event at the house and somebody was like, oh, you should grab a beer. I was like, okay. And I literally will look up like, oh, this case of beer is $20, 12 beers in the case.
Yeah.
That was a gift of this much.
Yeah.
And April was the first month that like at the end, I was able to see like expenses versus the gifts.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just neat to like see the paradise that's all around already.
Yeah.
Don't take anything for granted. I like that she like celebrates the penny.
Totally. Well, it's the most, I'm definitely getting tasked with that lesson right now, where it's like, can we strip away all the like big things, and the universe is very clear in me. They're like, you've been here before. We're going to bring you back to this place so that it can be the last time that you do this.
Oh, yes.
Should you choose to.
Right.
Otherwise, like, how will you be grounded and grateful in the like breadth of what is coming if you cannot be grounded and grateful? Like, the equivalent of it, $6 million in like the tiniest of thing. It could be like, my friend Veronica bought all my plants for $80, or like whatever it was, like the tiniest, simplest, the linen curtain. The fact the linen curtain was there was like made my week. Like, it really does. Like, that ROI is bananas. Like, it's so funny how something's so small, but like that's the piece where, or even just like like Trader Joe's groceries. Like the cost of groceries in Canada are just bananas, but it's like the appreciation and the gratitude and the like celebration. Like it's like the opportunity to celebrate everything then like completely negates forward thinking anxiety or like when you celebrate like all of the kingdom that's like constantly coming through and it could be like the sun came out, the walk felt good. My breakfast burrito tasted fucking amazing and like whatever, or like how nice it is that I can go on this big walk or like, you know, I didn't have to have a call that I thought I was going to have today. And so I got to just like focus on me. Like there's no room for all of the other chitter chatter.
Right.
When you're just like, see the kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, for me, there's a paradox, obviously, in terms of like the mind where you're going to go, oh, okay, so you're in the kingdom. Like everything is perfect. What if everything is perfect right now? And then
show me how everything is perfect right now.
I love that. That's fantastic.
How is everything perfect right now? Like, and tasking your mind where it was like, let's go over the evidence and like the minutia. The dust bunny is like the kingdom.
For sure. Yeah, of course. Exactly. The dust bunny. The obstacle is the path.
Yeah.
And then what's neat about that is that when you think like, okay, but you know, I do want this office to be decorated though. Then it's not like coming from lack of like, my office isn't decorated, so I have to decorate it or else I'm going to feel insecure and less than and blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, I'm in the kingdom. How do I express more of the light today? Like, how do I express more of me out here? Because what else am I going to do?
Well, and the big question, it's like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? It's so funny. I actually met someone recently who was like, you're the most feelingest person I've ever met. And I was like, that is like the best compliment I've ever heard. Nobody's ever said that about me before, so I must be on the right track.
That's so
But like, how do you want to feel? And so my environments are non-negotiable, such an impact on me that I have learned the hard way. Like anytime I try to like cheap out or circumnavigate, etc. But like the reality is like, say this like renovation, my brain is like, you shouldn't do it. You should wait till it's getting booked more, like all this stuff. And it was like, what if there's a way that I can move the energy and like, so I can feel really good? Like, how do I want to feel in this? I want to feel spacious. I want to feel light. I want to feel simple maintenance. So I'm selling all the real plants and getting a lot of fake ones, which normally would be like, what? But this will allow it to look that vibrant. So, and again, it's like, how do you want this to feel? And then what are the 1,800 ways that I can start to put that together, but having the vision of like, not just the thoughts but like, what's the, not even goal, but like, what would inspire me to do work? Because
follow what inspires you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm like a huge, and it's been huge supporter and advocate of that, because like growing up, I think my family and like all that stuff it's not that it wasn't encouraged. It definitely wasn't as celebrated, or like I've always had really lovely taste, and I've learned how to do that in a variety of like, but like it's absolutely possible. You could do this with like OfferUp. You could do this with like there are absolutely ways that you can, like, what was it? There was something that I like legitimately found, or like things in like thrift stores or something. Like I'll go in like thrifting. I think maybe it was like when I first moved to Vancouver, all my stuff was in storage. So I had to go to like thrift stores to find some basic kitchen stuff. But it was super fun because I listened to the same nudges of like, go here, look in those bookshelves, check for this. And like I would find some epic things that are like really incredible, totally available, absolutely there. And like same with, you could be like, oh, I'm getting a ping to go on like Craigslist right now.
Right.
And it's like listening to those like much subtler whispers.
Right.
That aren't, it's not me talking. It's like GodMode, like the little
higher
like
self, universe.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, how do you want this to feel?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Do you know about I think I asked you this the other day about Neville Goddard.
No,
he's a big, literally he wrote the book called Feeling is the Secret.
It is. Well, I mean, so like in Expect Magic, it's all about like mind, body, soul, which sounds really cheesy, but it's like mind, which is the thoughts that we think. It's kind of like how we got here, right? Body is all the emotions. It's the land of emotions. It's feelings. It's the good feelings. It's the not so good feelings. It's being able to navigate those and listen to it as like wisdom and information. It's also the land of desire. It's a land of pleasure. So like feeling is the secret. Absolutely. When we feel good, we're a magnet to everything. So it's like,
and you already made it.
Yeah.
So it beats time, knocks the whole time thing right on its ass. Because if I'm already feeling great, I made it.
Or like, I'm so excited to see how this office comes together, and I want to feel like inspired and organized, or like whatever it is, organized and like professional and like elevated, like whatever that looks like. And like, I can't wait. I wonder how it's all going to come together. And literally I see you where it's like, you're going to be walking down the street and there's going to be something on the sidewalk. There's going to be something here, and you're going to get a little voice. And I'm telling you this in advance.
Yeah,
this is like my future self being like, go to that thrift store in like Glendale, like the Salvation Army, like go check here, go look here,
Yeah.
There are so many, there's so much available.
In a manner of speaking, the items that will end up in this room are currently waiting for me to get them. They're like, hi, I belong in that room. You should come get me now.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of cool.
100%.
And then that's what makes that's what, for me, the whole world feels magic when you start thinking that way. Because it's like, there's no reason not to think that way. Technically, like anything in this room is here now. So from a certain point of view, it was always going to be here. So like that desk was built in a factory somewhere. Yep. As it was being built, what is it called? Personify? If I personify the desk, anthropomorphize the desk, it's like, I'm off to Noah's place, from Go. So anyway, this is the kind of thing, I got that from Marie Kondo, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, which is like, your clothes has feelings. Yeah. How would, like, I actually use this to clean up my room all the time, which is like, if I am like tired at the end of the night and I throw something on the ground, I'm like, oh, but then my like shirt won't be able to hang out with its buddies. So then I like grab the shirt and put it with its buddies. Yeah. And like the net result is that everything's really damn tidy. Yeah. And I got to feel a little bit like Mary Poppins along the way. So it's like a win-win, Well,
and it, again, for me, that like builds the self-trust part. It's funny because I recently like reoriented my living room in my apartment, and that set off this chain reaction of like, oh, I was like absolutely cleaning up my kitchen, like spotless every night. And like there was, again, it's like the caring of my space is a reflection. It's like there's self-trust and there's building a relationship where it's like my whole self in mind, like every bit of me that you can see and that you can't see knows that I'm there to take care of and create the most amazing experience for myself. And so there is that piece of like how it feels, how it felt palpably to wake up to that was like wild. Or like I would like quickly vacuum every day. And just like there is something about that it's like, oh, it's the same as like in a perfect world, I would have like a maid who does all of that. But like in the meantime, I'm that. And like this is how it feels.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. I mean, this is like the make your bed in the morning thing for me. I mean, I like love that from Jordan Peterson, and clean up your room. That's Jordan Peterson's thing. And then you got like Jocko is always like, he has like, I think a whole lecture on like it's like a 5-minute lecture on making your bed.
Yeah.
But that's where I got it. And it's true. The whole like psychological, what is it? Jordan says it basically simply that the spaces that you spend the most time in are the ones that you've kind of built, and so they're reflecting back to you exactly the state of your mind.
Oh yeah.
Insofar as you spend all your damn time there,
yeah,
it's you who arranged it.
Oh, I gotta clean up my car then.
Yeah. So one cool thing about Kabbalah too is they've got like, dude, Jesus, it's 5,000 years old, so they like every day, they know what's going on every day. So like in terms of energy. Yeah. So in Kabbalah, like there'll be like a certain day of the year or like a certain phase where it's like, okay, now go find the dust bunnies. Like this is the time for the fucking dust bunnies. Clear out all the dust bunnies because you're making space for all of the miracles that are going to come in. Yeah. And we just did that like, I think it was like right before Passover or something. Which I did for the first time.
That makes a lot of sense in terms of how my studio feels now. There's like a lot of space for things to flow in. And I found myself like wanting to like put more little knickknacks. And I was like, Liz, stop it.
Nice.
Less things. You don't need that much. People are there to take photos or video. Like they really don't need a lot. And like realizing like how I'd been designing it wasn't the best use for like photo. Like it's used as a photo and video studio, but like, and like a lifestyle space. But it was like, there'd always be like, your head would be cut off in this really weird angle, like with the lamp behind you, you know, like it was like all these things where I was like, oh, wow. Like you don't actually want that.
Not
you
a
don't
photo,
want any,
even if it feels good in person.
It looks beautiful on its own.
Right.
But like when you're taking portraits, like you get this funky background and like it doesn't really work.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
Things you learn.
Yes. Well, I mean, her studio is incredible. I love your space. I've loved pretty much every space that I've seen. I've followed you on FaceTime. You've been in several different apartments when that happens. Your old apartment here was phenomenal.
Oh, I miss it.
I know.
So much.
This room that we're in is my first time. Let me put it this way. The way that I have decorated spaces in the past is always like function first and one little tiny bit at a time. And that's how I ended up in my room. And I love my room. This space is like, no. I'm a designer now. I'm designing the space as an entire like project. Yeah. I made a whole like mood board. I've like taken the Kelly Wersler like masterclass on interior design.
Oh my God.
Gets me all excited. I actually want to get a live reaction to a wallpaper that I'm going to be using probably for like that chunk. And we are coming up towards the end. So it's all going to come wrapping up.
All right.
So you, with your eyes closed, you were talking about like, you said bananas a few times. And I happen to absolutely love bananas.
I mean, bananas are great.
And I think that bananas is kind of me. Like I'm a little bananas and that's okay, right? So when I tell you, you open your eyes. Okay. Not yet. I just want you to keep in mind that it's a little less yellow than it's going to be. It's going to be a little bit more yellow. Okay. But the pattern is the pattern. Okay. And open your eyes. Oh,
Did you Google banana wallpaper?
No, I've literally looked through thousands of like swatches of wallpaper online. Wow. And this one's called Wild West Gone Bananas. Oh my gosh. And it's amazing. And at first it was like, this is crazy. You can't put this as your wallpaper. Like this is way too much, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, I was like, so the thing that drew me to it was the Wonka element. It's so like Wonka. Yeah. And I actually, in all of my financial practices, I call this room the chocolate factory.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
So then though, like I wanted like a really nice like wood top, like, you know, like what is it called? Live edge, like desk, standing desk and live edge like shelves and stuff. And there's like going to be like a little bit of an industrial feel with like pipes, you know, with like the you got it. Yeah. And after I built the mood board, like at first this looked completely preposterous, but after I built the mood board, we looked at it and we were like, oh my God, the wood here is like all the like natural wood that you're going to have in the room. The metal iron here is like all of that industrial metal that you're going to have in the room. Yeah. And it's not going to be too much because it's only going to be like a little section of like one wall. Yeah.
Or here's my tip. If you really love it, it'll work.
Exactly.
Like if you really, really love something, it'll work. Yes. And okay, so with the live edge wood and the Willy and the Wonka effect, when you're sitting down here and you're working, how do you want to feel?
Exactly. Magic. I want to feel like magic. I want to feel that life is fun, that finances are fun, that, you know, we all fucking incarnated, and yes, there's suffering and pain and confusion and doubt and all this shit. Yeah. But there's bananas. Yeah. And it's all bananas in the end, right? And something about that feels so me, right? In the most ridiculous way. Like, you know, you flip through a million different like, oh, let me coach you on your finances online. You're only going to find one guy who has like bananas and shotguns on the wall behind him. And like for me to be able to be good at what I do and also have like my bananas and shotguns. Yeah. It's going to be like, hello world. I bet you didn't know that bananas and shotguns are super cool. But here we are.
Bananas, shotguns, and money go hand in hand.
That was the last piece. The last piece of that is the little leaves. Yeah. Which is money and also like plants, which will be throughout the room. So it kind of does work. It's fucking crazy.
That's like just the things that bring you great joy. You don't have to worry about how it works. Like you find I'm always like, you find your real strong base pieces. Like you find your foundational pieces. So if it's that, then it's that. If it's the desk, great. Like and then everything else sort of orients around it. And that which are the primary like focal points. And then there can be secondary and like simpler ones. So yeah.
Well, we covered time travel. We covered finding millions of dollars in the jungle waters.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about that.
We covered time dilation, emotions in the body. Man, we covered the bus trick, which I'm probably gonna talk about in like every episode. I hope to phase in more of the like, what if there's $1 million there?
Not even 1 million. Like, make it bananas. Make it bananas. Make it.
She gets it. We're getting it.
Like,
that's it.
That's when it's like $25 million. Like something so like
astronomical.
Like just out of this world.
Where and I just want to say, I know that like I hear you when you're talking, and I'm also Capricorn, so I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
For everyone else, like could be like your family time, like the best family trip ever. It doesn't have to be money. It could be like the soulmate is at the freaking, she's bathing across the freaking lake at the right time or whatever, he, she, etc. It could be, it's just something of immense value, of absurd value. Like value that like from where we're living right now, it's like, no, really? No, but it's not, but really? Like whatever this is for anyone listening, I like this. Whatever you would imagine you'd like to find under the X on a treasure map, right?
Yeah.
What would be under your X? That's what's there. That's the thing to use in your thought version.
Absolutely. I think the main thing is like whatever gets you out of the fear of like doing that thing. And so for me, it's like some ridiculous amount of money means
same
I can like, I have like ultimate freedom. I can spend all the time with whomever. I can explore and do whatever I want. Like that's really it. That's it more than anything else. It's the freedom. But yeah, like whatever gets you to like, whatever just like kills any excuse.
That's
like just like whatever just destroy, like obliterates any excuse, use that.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just the easiest, like an amount of money is the easiest thing ever. But it's like time with like it all lands. Anything else is all supported underneath that.
I just had this vision of like, if it could be like the smile on your daughter's face. Like if you like want to go to Disneyland or like the trip feels like too intense to fly across the country and go to Disney, like we can't do that right now. It's like, what if the kid never forgot this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like looked at you with like, what if you absolutely blew the child's mind?
Yeah.
You know, then it's like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
It's the whole leap in the net will appear thing.
You bet.
You see, actually that does well. And if anybody's watching this online, you can like go to Google right now, type in leap and the net will appear and look for the little, have you seen the meme of the cliff and the hands? So there's, yes, it's the picture. It's the cliff. There's a little person on the cliff. If I had my tech guy, tech guy, ethereal tech person who's yet to manifest, but will be here soon, put this on the screen for us. There's the hands, there's the person on the edge of the cliff, and it's like me, also me, and it's like the hand catching the person.
Exactly. Well, that's the jungle, and that's the like go there and like we've got you, but like girl, you keep thinking that we're gonna kick you off the edge of the world, but like it's right here.
Yes.
Here's the kingdom.
And the experience can be proactive. Okay, fuck it. I'm going to run off the edge of this cliff. Woohoo. And then you get caught.
Yeah.
Or the experience can be this hand at the top of the cliff, just like slowly shoving you towards the edge. And you're like, no, please. And it's just slowly shoving you towards the edge.
And like, yeah, exactly. I've done both. I've definitely done both. But it's just a matter of like, how do you want to experience? How do you want this to feel?
How do you want this to feel? So I'll say this to you to end this today. First of all, I feel amazing. I've been meaning to do this for ages. This is my 3rd episode.
Yes.
I've did 4, but it's 3. Really special that you made it. I'm so glad that you're here.
Anytime.
Instrumental. We didn't even get into like the part that you've played in my life, which is huge.
Another day.
Another episode. How was it for you? I know you've been having a day. And then you like walked in here.
This is great. This is such a good ending. And it's a wonderful exercise in like grounding me in like the truths that I know. Also, the $6 million wading in a waterfall sounds really fucking fabulous. So
yeah, that's your, like, your goal.
That's
what do you call it? Like the party favor? Like your
yeah.
bag?
Well, it's so funny because even the thought, I was like, okay, well, like I'll just go like I'll go book a ticket. And there's like something within me right now that's like, I can't. And it was like, no, just do it. Like pick a time and just like go for it. Just like go for it. And trust that it'll be there. And like, I can't wait. Like how amazing. So no, I feel pretty great.
When I think about your $6 million in that lake, I think about it inside the package of a linen curtain. Linen curtain.
I'll bring my linen curtain with me and wear it as like as a cape as I'm jumping off the cliff and be like, Geronimo.
Yeah. High five. Boom. Well, thank you for coming on.
There we go.
God mode. Yep, exactly. Conductor.
Yep.
This is it. I love it. Scrappy. It's wild. We're in the white room, as it were, hilariously enough. But that's it. I guess for everybody watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments.
Dun, 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 dun.
You can find us on Spotify soon, hopefully. This is going to go to YouTube first. Yeah. Interact. I've got Cafecito with Noah, which is like a live stream that I do on Twitch and on Instagram. God Mode Player's Guide to Life is this offering. I've got my financial management app, Prosper Pro. And why don't you plug Expect Magic?
Oh, sure. So Expect Magic right now, 1.0 version, 2.0 version really, is an intuitive coaching umbrella. It's going to expand into a whole bunch of different things. But essentially right now, it's for women 35 and above who are getting to the point of they're tired of asking the question, is this really it? And they're ready to jump into the next level, the next chapter. It's like all of my peers are just tired of doing all the stuff they're supposed to be doing. And so it's really a wonderful exploration through mind, body, soul, and just what exists. So it's really tapping into our intuitive powers. A lot of the stuff that you've heard me say tonight absolutely is par for the course. So, and we do some master classes and we've got some retreats and we've got a great 6-month coaching container that's just like delicious and incredible.
Expect Magic has an Instagram.
It's called Always Expect Magic.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And do you guys have a website?
Yeah, it is expectmagic.ca.
Perfect.
There we go.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Let's whip these around. We can do that now. It's over.
Okay.
Flip it over and then hug it out.
Yay. Little things, boo-boo. Oh, I love that.
And that's it. That's the episode.